on Sunday, the big scary ones where you all know if you win that series, you are off to the World Cup group stage, you are off to play in the LAN finals. So it means so much to keep hold of those strategies for that big day.
Well, you only show as much as your opponent forces you to do so. If you are starting to be pushed back on the ropes, you're going to need to show something special to pull out a victory and even make it to that point. There's no point in hoarding all these strategies going, no, these are mine, and I will save them for semi-finals if you don't even make it there, Des.
Sounds like Eagle Gaming.
Well, they're not being put on the back foot. They're not being pushed against the ropes. They're able to just do what they want to do.
They saved their dive strats until week 4 and 5 when it mattered because they got that win against Windstrike. They went on to win in the 5th week as well. Completely avoided having to worry about getting into that dogfight for qualification into the playoffs. But anyway, first point coming through onto Volskaya. See all kinds of defenses, tends to be very much so Widow versus Widow focused. Orgless and Hungry are playing to that tune. They're taking Kevster on that Widowmaker. We've seen him play it before. It's going to be the double sniper, playing with the triple tank and the single support. A very, very popular comp that we've seen in Overwatch League a lot. Eagle Gaming, they're saying, well, it's pretty much full dive time, except they've got triple DPS here. Hip going out for the scout, I imagine will go back and play the Zen.
He stayed on a little bit longer on the Sombra when he did last time. Will get detected as he runs away. They're just going to hold on to that one yet and not commit to any changes. Already Latex taking out Superpluke, so Orgless and Hungry have a slight advantage, will be snuffed out by the Resurrection.
Yeah, and again, bringing that Mercy onto the first point means a lot because you can afford to get that res come through. You can lose the initial duel with the Widowmaker. Of course, no Widowmaker on the side of Eagle, but having that res just means that you're not going to get outmatched by the fact that Orgless and Hungry also have their own Mercy. Again, it turns into a bit of a 7 versus 7 rather than a 7 versus 6.
Nico on the Tracer, already onto the back line. Denia feeling the hurt, but Leaf's going to be the one to get the kill. Nico with the double, Kevster, Casper. They've lost all their bite on the side of Orgless and Hungry. Eagle Gaming swoop in with the talons to make this work on point A.
Yeah, now it's Nico, the one with the opportunity to flex. He's usually the go-to Genji player, but because Lee Side is a very, very prolific Genji player, he's going across onto the Tracer. So it's not just hardest who we were speaking about in terms of being very versatile, it's Nico. And I've got to say, this is one team. I spoke to Coach Feifei and he said, you know, I would love to be able to use all 12 players on our roster, but I can only use so many, and stability really helps this team shine. So far, on every single map, he has changed players in and out. There is no hardest onside this time round.
We get to see Leaf's Genji rather than Nico, so he's going to have Pulse Bomb ready on that Tracer. Leaf catching up very fast with the ult charge, could have the Dragon Blade in quite a quick fashion to deal with Orgless and Hungry's defense. They got themselves a Valkyrie and a Pulse Bomb for now. Orgless and Hungry struggling to keep up with the ult economy.
Might be able to get the way in here as well. Here comes up the Blade, trying to get in the back. They bring down the Mercy. That's going to be big for them as well. Can they get another one? Yes, they can. Casper's gone.
Stunned up by Kevs that will shut down Leaf. So that's all they're going to be able to get back in return for this one. Self-destruct, buying some more time for Orgless and Hungry to mount a defense, but in that time they bought themselves, they just end up dying. Leaf switching over to the Wrecking Ball to get back to the fight. He might not even need to, because Eagle Gaming have this completely under control. Dragon Strike coming through the point. Hacks coming out. No hacks, sorry. Why am I keep hearing those noises? Wrecking Ball, pile drive on top to Leaf. So Leoded's going to match him on it. The Transcendence will win out the fight. The Supercharger being taken out. Latex already losing the music, losing the bongo drum. Kevster comes in on the Doomfist. They're throwing everything they can. It's a double kill. Both supports have died for Eagle Gaming. If they can stay alive, they might be able to flip this around, but they cannot sustain themselves on that point. Eagle Gaming complete with a sizable time bank remaining.
Pack in 10 if you're watching, you know exactly what this means to me. Full dive once again coming out of Eagle Gaming. Always the team again that we speak about a lot as being a very tank-focused team, but they're showing here for the full map that they can play dive and they can play it damn well. This is the scary thing for Orgless and Hungry. We said it at the start of the series. They're playing into a tank team. Their response to tanks is to play counter-tank or to play their own game, which normally is dive. They're being outpaced on dive by Eagle Gaming. That is never a storyline we would have written into the books at the first week of this season.
That's such a scary concept. Eagle Gaming, peg them as a tank team, suddenly they're playing dive and they're playing it well. You think you have them beat on certain compositions, and it's just more to fear from this French roster.
And I've got to say, one tank I want to add into the books or the conversations here. We normally have a big four, I suppose you could say. We mentioned guys like Lulsish, like Cloudy, like Sharek, like Fusions. I think Superpluke needs to be added to this conversation because this guy has shown the flexibility that maybe we didn't see last season. Nox was the go-to Winston player for Eagle Gaming. Superpluke exclusively their Reinhardt player. This season, he's playing both to a very good standard. Let's not forget, Dive is not all about the DPS, but he's playing that Winston incredibly well, showing us what he can do.
Speaking of Winston, he's going to switch over to that to join them on that point A defense. And Des, we keep adding names to this conversation of best Reinhardts. We're just going to have to say that EU produces the best Reinhardts because, well, unfortunately, the number of names we're listing is starting to match the number of teams we have in Contenders.
Absolutely is. Quite scary when you think about it. Like, there was probably 2 or 3 names at the very start of Contenders Season 1. Now we're up to about 5, maybe 6.
Season 3, it'll be all of them.
Every single one. I mean, Latex as well, a player that we haven't spoke about a whole ton, but in recent weeks, he's shown that he's very much so the center point for this team. Epps is the guy who put the team together, but Latex showing that he's happy to lead the charge, I suppose you could say as well. Problem is, you're leading the charge into a death comp here of Eagle Gaming. They're rolling out with the Soldier, which is not unlike what we saw coming out of some teams yesterday. They had the Doomfist and the Soldier together. A very innovative defense coming out of Angry Titans, I believe it was, and it works incredibly well.
No Doomfist coming out this time, Leaf instead opting for the Sombra. So I'll be interested to see what he does with that hero. And he's probably going to be dancing around the back line, looking for someone to pick up. Kevster already with the Widowmaker, eyeing up the point, will look to take themselves a more advantageous position behind the shielding that's coming out from Latex as they move onto the point. Already being forced out a little bit. Sombra does manage to get the hack up, but immediately shut down by Kevster. He's having none of that cyber crime today. As he aims for another one. Nico's gone down as well on the back line. Resurrection coming up. You can't resurrect Hip as well. That's free for Kevster before Nico shuts him down. But that's more than enough for Orgless and Hungry to take control of this point.
Epps on the Tracer as well means they have double sniper with a Tracer running around. Not something we see very often, but Epps, he's basically a bit of a DPS wannabe when he's playing on that Zen as well. Why not bring out the Tracer here and show us what you're made of? And it works wonders. Within 1 minute and 5 seconds, they've caught the point. They've got 7 minutes to push onto the second Tridd. This could turn out to be a very long map.
They could match Eagle Gaming's time on this, and look where Epps is. He's already got himself in a forward position on the opposite side of the entrance that Orgless and Hungry are taking. So he's in prime position to get onto the back line and get an unexpected flank. They're leaving Kevster at the back as well to get a kill. Leaf is on that Doomfist and he's ready to rumble.
Full dive coming in here. The Genji and the Doomfist combo is lethal if they can get someone in the CC.
No! He ascends into the pulse bomb and he's going to go down. Leo then picks up Nico. Leaf will get the counter kill onto Epps. Kevster trying to snipe him, but he's too fast to move. Settles for Super Pluke instead. They know where the Doomfist is. Someone is contesting. Gonna take him out. Progress starting to tick. Wrecking Ball for Hip as he's going for the stall. Will pivot around the middle, but he's not gonna do anything substantial as Casper takes him out. Supercharge comes in. This could be big for Orgless and Hungry. They've got the additional damage that comes with it. Should be able to clear out these targets faster. And that's exactly what Casper's doing. He gets not 1, but 2. Kev's to the second sniper rifle, cleaning up Nico. The D-Mech comes out for Get Amaze. No stall required here. Just kill them all. Hip again with the Wrecking Ball. Line up the shots. Aim ahead of your target and let your arrows be true as they clear him out, but it's Epps scattered from the side to get Lilbo and Hip. You're going to have Super Quick jumping in on the Winston. Leaf comes back in again, but he's not surviving long enough. Progress ticking down, so close to get it, and they've just missed out on matching Eagle Gaming's time. They will go in with a lower time bank, but surely they're going to be able to pull this off. They can just clear Hip off again. He needs to be pushed into the corner, shut down. They're throwing Nico at him. Someone clear it off. They'll come so close to matching Eagle Gaming's time, but we're looking for multiple rounds of Volskaya here, Dez.
It's coming down to it, and that round, last time it was entirely dictated by Eagle's dive. This round entirely by Kevster's Widowmaker. And this has always been a bit of a criticism, I suppose you could say, of Eagle, is they don't have a prolific Widowmaker player. We saw Flippy last season. Haven't really seen him much this season because he can't flex onto too many other picks, I imagine. Leaf has played it a bit. We've also seen Hardest pick it up as well, but none quite to the caliber of what we've seen Kevster rock it with.
Eagle Gaming will defend again. Orgless and Hungry, like I said, not matching Eagle Gaming's time. Starting off with the lesser time bank, so they get a double whammy offense. Very quick for Eagle Gaming to adapt to it. They can look at the minute mistakes they made, and they can make fast adaptations while it's fresh in their mind.
And that looks like exactly what they're going to do. Switching over to playing dives, they at least have a way of responding to all of that damage coming out of Orgless and Hungry. The range they've got with the hands on the Widowmaker gave them a lot of trouble last round. And Ebb so far hovering on that Sombra may well change before they end up finding themselves coming out the gate. But that Tracer was pretty impactful last round as well. It's exactly why we used to see a lot of things like Widow and Tracer together. The Tracer gets in the back line, harasses the enemy Widow, gives your Widow a clear line of sight with no contest, and being able to bring her down nice and easy. That changes a lot when you've got 2 snipers staring you down, Tridd. That's always where the worry point comes in.
2 snipers, and now that Tracer is invisible, effectively, because Epps, if he stays on that Sombra, you're not going to see where it's coming from. Sneaky position for Eagle Gaming. I think they're waiting for Orgless to push onto them. Get Amazed will feed them the information about what's coming at them. They have a chance to tailor their strategy if they need to.
And they're rolling out with the Orisa on attack as well. Not something we normally see unless you're coming up against another Orisa and you want kind of a tank battle in a sense, but hey, if it works for them, if they've been practicing it, if they know what they want to do with this combo, then why not? It does give the double snipers a lot of protection when you're playing behind the shield, and you already see they're sticking very close together so they have that protection.
Double Sniper staying together, trying to deal with Nico, but it's Leaf you have to worry about. You've lost Genia, your only healer at the time, and if you're going to rely on Eps on the Brigitte to give you healing, you've got another thing coming. Leaf takes out 2 before Kevster shuts him down, eyeing up to shoot out the sky. Hip, Leaf's going to be brought back by Lilbo, so still that threat looms and lurks over Orgless and Hungry, as they haven't really put a foothold beyond this initial choke.
Ouch, Superplute nearly getting domed there by Kevster again, and again it's that constant threat of the snipers with no way of shutting them down. They have to dive in to kill them. They've taken the Orisa, so it's basically a counter dive in a sense. It makes it very hard to get onto them in the back line.
Hip took a massive shot there, didn't go down, so his shield's going to recharge the damage. Eps removes Superpluk, bit off more than he can chew. Now Kevster shooting forward before he gets taken out by Leaf, but it's Latex, Lear dead, so of course Casper picking up the kills. Orgless and Hungry looking to take control of this point, and I think they will be able to pull it off. They can just take out Nico, who's going to have that pulse bomb for the next engagement.
Well, if you invest enough into this comp of double sniper, they're literally throwing the defense matrix on it, the shields from the Orisa, the res and the damage boost coming out of the Mercy, as well as the stuns onto any divers from the Brigitte. It's going to come true eventually, because Kevster and Casper, 2 of the shining lights on this team when they're really popping off, and so far Kevster, this map especially, has really been showing us what he's made of on that Widowmaker.
Don't have a Zarya for the Grab Dragon combination, but we've seen teams make do with the Holt coming out from Orisa, so if Latex can time that right with Casper, we could still get a mini Grab Dragon combination off. And they don't have the Diva in position just yet to deal with it. Here comes the rally out there, as well as the Supercharger. Nico's on the back line trying to deal with Casper. Leaf will take out the Bongo, but he trades his life for it. His Eps will be the one to clean him up. Now Nico looking to find Kevster. Can't get enough damage onto him to get the kill, but does make him think twice about his positioning. Moving around again, falls up into where he can get some healing as Nico has to retreat to some of his own. Leonidas, meanwhile, takes out both backline supports. Ed's going to take out Nico. The Dragon Blade only finds Kevster, but he's miles away from the point. He has to get back and contest. Dives into the fight as Latex gets a double onto the tank. Epps is going to clean up Leaf again. Positional advantage, man advantage, but the spawn advantage is in favor of Eagle Gaming. The Transcenders will keep them healthy enough to contest as the Superpluk rolls in with the Wrecking Ball. They force them away, but Leodez has already got that first kill onto Hip. He's stunned up as the Doomfist comes in from Kevster to shut down Superpluk with the help of Leodez. Self-destruct will level out the playing field, but Latex is going to fire down some more barrage and some more hurt.
Still managed to hold out the point here. Eagle Gaming just throwing bodies at the point right now to try and hold it out, but Latex gets a triple. Make that the 4th coming through on this Orisa, gunning everyone down. That Supercharger 50% damage boost is doing work, Tridd.
He is on the tip of everyone's tongues now if you're talking about best main tanks in Europe. With a performance like that to close out and complete Volskaya Industries, the Earnest is now on Eagle Gaming to come back into this one and get a full cap, and we go again on Volskaya Industries if they can do that.
If they can do that. 2 minutes 15, the time bank is nothing to snuff at either as well. That's a lot of time to go for a push, especially with how quick the first point fights have been going and then the subsequent rollover onto the second. What was our record last season? I think 7-6 on Horizon Lunar Colony?
Yeah, 7-6 sounds about right for the longest.
A high number either way is the best way to look at it.
Highest number of rounds or point score on a map would have been the 7-6 on Horizon, I believe.
The Orisa was just a really, really cool pick there for them to go on the attack, because first point you have the constantly moving shield to be able to keep your 2 snipers alive. The problem with Reinhardt is once that shield goes down, well, you find yourself in a bit of a tough spot because you can't bring it back up again immediately. You're likely to lose a member. Once they managed to get that first point, they rolled on there, dropped down the Supercharger, and I've mentioned this so many times before. When you use that ultimate in a fight, it has the highest team fight win percentage in the game. It is that impactful, and you saw it as it rolled out that second time round, with Latex being the guy basically acting like a DPS with that Gatling gun on the right arm, just completely mowing everyone down.
Vianti should be taking notes on how to use Orisa on Volskaya. Not quite happy with what they're rolling out with, and maybe they're learning a thing or two from Orgless and Hungry. They might be their opponents after all if they can start their campaign to get that 3 map wins required in this series to come back. Eagle Gaming taking it slow now. They're going to emerge from the door quite quickly, running with that GOAT's composition.
Good pickup as well, because Orgless and Hungry are running that counter dive. The Brigitte with the stun, as well as the Orisa, just means it's going to be very hard for a dive comp to get onto this high ground and fight, to be honest with you. So what do? You play 3-3, you force them off the high ground. Orgless and Hungry being very smart here and just backing away and saying we want no part in this close range duel because we do not win.
They're chasing him down. Hip had nowhere to go, so he's easy pickings for Casper, who comes in. He's going to take out Nico as well. Max range, arrows, and get a mace. Goes for the reset, leaving Superpluk out to dry. Hopefully he doesn't feed too much ult charge. He's aiming to get himself off the edge of the map early. Latex will get the percentage though, because he used the Holt to make it happen.
So Legday's lost his mech in that one. He's going to reset as well. Eagle Gaming, if they're quick here, they could just roll the point. And in fact, they might well go for it. Leaf did change over a brief second there. They're rolling out with quad tank to force their way onto this point, whilst they know there are only 5 members defending it.
When in doubt, quad tank it out as they're moving forward. Legday still making progress, getting back. So they are playing in a man at disadvantage. You can already see he's close to get there. So they've got positional advantage on the point. The onus is going to be on Orgless and Hungry to drop down. The shield's going down for Latex, as is half of his health. Casper going very low. Needs to evade a little bit better than that to keep himself alive. They're going to give up a lot of territory here. Legday was the one contesting to keep him off and gaining free progress. Fires the Dragon Strike immediately into Gedamaze to eat up. He just opened his mouth and had food thrown into it. It's not going to be very hard for him to pull that one off. Still no real advantage here. Gedamaze will take out Latex, so you're missing a tank. Kev's is going to answer the call with Super Plug and D-Mech in favor of Casper. Nico going to take out Kevster. Self-destruct goes up into the air, grabs on side, pulls them together. Nico, Hip, Leaf getting the kills. They should be able to capture this one. They're going to get themselves about 4 minutes, 10 seconds to get themselves that point B.
Got themselves about 1.5 minutes to be able to match Orgless and Hungry's time once again. But what we're speaking about just at the start of this round, Tridd, the effect of Orisa with that bongo drum. That goes down. If they lose the fight when that is in play and Eagle Gaming still manage to stroll through and close this out and bring it to 4-4, there is something very wrong.
They've already dropped the music. Let it happen. Let's get some music of their own. Lil Bell throwing down that sound barrier, and they've already lost the supercharger. Dragon Strike going to cut through the map. They're firing right clicks up at them. Latex gets the D-Mech on to Gedamaze. People are getting stunned up on the point. Not many kills coming in. Leaf will have that whole hog of being get into the fight. The Transcendence keeping everyone alive. But Superfluke charges down Denia. They're missing a crucial part of their healing, and they force the rest of Orgless and Hungry back, apart from that tank line. They need to clear out Latex, clear out that Diva, and now you can start racking up that progress. They're going to throw out the self-destruct. It's easily blocked out. Wrecking Ball comes in. Kevster using the Earth Shatter. He wants none of that mobility coming out from the hamster. Denia coming in, trying to force out more stalls.
They still got more ults online as well. Gedamaze has got the self-destruct here if they want to use it, but no one is currently contesting the point. Orgless and Hungry taking a few seconds to group back up together. Now they're going to push in to try and keep this point away from Eagle Gaming.
Latex goes in the charge, straight onto Leaf for the adaptive shield, able to keep himself alive for even longer. And they can't get him. Triple kill for Gedamaze! And we are all in awe at his amazement as Legday still trying to fight it out. Casper gets a rocket punch kill onto Lilbo, and they've still got the Hammond rolling round. Kevster will surely go down, but he wants to go for another round around the clock. Going enough. It's going to be more players getting into the fight. Latex back again. They've burnt through so much of the time back of Eagle Gaming. Mission accomplished. You're starting to burn it through even further, and the stall is still strong for this team.
Legday's back on the point now, just trying to fight his way through, but they're constantly trying to force them away. Out comes the Graviton Surge, catches 3. This could be it for them, Tridd.
There comes Doomfist. Meteor Strike blocked out the damage, and they've got Hammond back on the point again. Self-destruct goes up high. Eagle Gaming getting kill advantage, and finally are able to end the shenanigans of the point B capture. We're going Volskaya all over again.
We go again and again and again.
Another one.
We just keep on rolling. So many little memes you can drop in there about this because it has been the constant rollover. But I remember saying back in Season 1, I think one week we called Gedamaze an intelligent diva with the way he was placing self-destructs, knowing when to retreat from a fight when it was looking lost. And I always thought, well, it's a hard word to call a diva player. We've got a lot of smart diva players who do good things. It's hard to differentiate them. But small things there, like weaving that bomb behind them over the back and being able to catch 3, that gave Eagle Gaming the real push they needed to be able to get onto that point, take the spawn advantage, and essentially shut Orgless and Hungry down. They still have less time than Orgless and Hungry, but Eagle Gaming have now got to find an answer to that Orisa with the double sniper, because that was a real roll last time around by Orgless and Hungry.
Swings and roundabouts for these two teams as the time balances shifted in favor of Orgless and Hungry. So another double back-to-back attack for Eagle Gaming as they're going to go on offense this time around into Orgless and Hungry's defense. So what teams like to double stack this one?
Does seem to be a bit of a favorite. Hip going to be doing the good old thing again of probably starting out, as it would seem, on the Sombra, go for a bit of a scout, go back and change to the Zen. Little Bo going to be sticking on that Mercy. Was on the Lucio very briefly there for a second, which is of course what we see in full dive. In this case, on those first point assaults, you want to bring the Mercy to the fray so that you at least have that same res advantage that the other side has got. Orgless and Hungry rolling out with that 3-2-1 comp like we saw before. It did get rolled over by Eagle Gaming when we saw them switch out to play the 3-3. They've got to be wary of that.
Leafs going forward on that Genji. Already Super going down low. No real HP answer inside of Orgless and Hungry. Leafs isolated, has to dash to safety. Reflects a couple of rounds back at Latex, but won't be getting any kills for now.
It's going to be a little bit of trading back and forth. Gedamaze might lose his mech there. Super close, but still manages to keep it alive. Super Fluke, actually speaking of which, only loses his life.
You can only heal one of those tanks, Des. You can't heal both at the same time because there's no way Zenyatta matches up to Mercy's healing power if you look at the HP per second. Still Orgless and Hungry holding off defensively quite well here at a forward position.
Look at Ilbo's ultimate compared to Denia as well, just coming online, and Denia hits 40%, and now Denia is gone. That could be the big one, because that res is now off the field as well. That's essentially 2 kills in one, Tridd.
Point A has the spawn advantage in favor of Eagle Gaming. They need to follow up with more kills, but they're healing up their own tanks at the moment. They've got time to play with. You are right, Des is Leaf going to take out Casper, moving into the interior. Nico finds that, needs to shut down Latex as well. Kevster gets a return kill, but he's by himself up in the rafters. Leo Des, they can stall out a little bit longer because he's been demeched. Cut through him last, take him out. Point A is yours, Eagle Gaming. You're going in with about 1 minute 20 to make this happen.
This is where a Lucio would have been fantastic, because as we saw yesterday, if you catch that first point with a few stagger kills at the very end of the capture, you can just roll onto the second point with this dive comp. Not going to worry about it for now, but look at the ultimates they've got coming up. Orgless and Hungry, they have to respond, and we saw this last week from a couple of teams playing Brigitte. Wow, that's going to slow things down, but last week we saw Brigitte basically stun Genji twice as he was about to use his blade. They're going to be looking to try and stop Leaf here from popping off and murdering the whole team.
One thing they're missing on the side of Orgless and Hungry is that Zenyatta. No quick transcendence that will definitely heal everyone. If Kevster misses this stun, it's going to allow Leaf to run riot through Orgless and Hungry.
They'll go in with the trans, most likely with the blade on top of it as well, to make sure Leaf can survive any of those stuns that do come out. Even if he gets a couple of kills, that's all they need. Out comes the Bongo.
Supercharge for Orgless and Hungry. Hook will not connect. Leaf still hiding off to the side. Jumps up high, goes down with the Dragon Blade. Cuts through Kevster. Epps is going to be taking out Hip. He's only got 1 kill so far. He's moving closer, but he's stunned up by Epps. The hook was enough to take him out. Super Fluke, however, will deal with the Supercharger as he also takes out Latex. Hold from Epps. Breaks up the fight. Leo Dead with the self-destruct takes out Nico, so no more stall. There's a little bit of time left for Eagle Gaming, but they need to go into retreat. Instead, Hip's going to use that Transcendence because he wants to keep the fight alive now. Keep Super Fluke healthy on this point to be the contester, but they're losing too many members and they have the spawn disadvantage, but they're going for high mobility heroes. Leaf is looking to come back on this Wrecking Ball, buying more time to get some reinforcements. They got one last push on this.
Not going to have time now. Now that Hip's gone down as well, there won't be a res for that one. They're going to trade things back over Tridd, but they've maybe got the Tracer in the backline here who can touch, but aside from that, it's looking pretty grim.
Well, they were trying to bait out the rest of Orgless and Hungry to buy some free time for Nico, but he's not got a lot to work with. But here come the reinforcements. 3 tanks on the point, already disrupting. Get amazed. Leaf, they're trying to do what they can, but Lilbo and Nico have already gone down, as has Super Fluke. What looked like a sneaky redemption play for Eagle Gaming has been cut short by the raw power of Orgless and Hungry. They're going to finish this one up with 5 points to their names. I don't see them capping this one at all, Des.
The benchmark has been set then, 2 minutes 50. Orgless and Hungry, all they've got to do is capture that first point, go on to the second and capture a third of it. They will then take their first map in this series and force us to go through to a fourth. With how they've been playing, it's certainly possible. Big question now comes up for me again. Do Eagle Gaming have a response to that Orisa comp that we keep on seeing Orgless and Hungry running on the attack?
Big question for me, does Orgless and Hungry have the mental fortitude to keep going? Yes, they could win Volskaya. They're in position to do so with nearly a 3-minute time bank. Like you said, Des, capture point A, 33% at point B, but then they're at match point again for the 4th map. Then they're at match point again for the 5th map. How much stress can your mind take into this series to pull off a reverse sweep? It's a lot of anguish on someone's mind, and that could play a factor if the series progresses any further.
Let's not forget we saw it in the first day of the North American Contenders playoffs as well, between Fusion, Union, and Toronto. Teams kind of taking the advantage, the halftime kicks in. You have a bit of a revised few moments to go, right, what went wrong, what can we change? And we said this before the half. Orgless and Hungry, it will be a very busy halftime for them. They know what they've worked towards here. Epps, again, rebuilding this team from scratch, essentially, at the start of the season, have got themselves here. Eagle Gaming, the more established team, you might say, with the same roster for the last 2 seasons, haven't really had the consistent performances we would have hoped to see. But as it stands right now, this is the best Eagle Gaming we have seen in either of the last 2 seasons.
Well, the best Eagle Gaming can hope for now is obviously a win, but if they lose that point A, suddenly becomes a draw is the best outcome for them. Eagle Gaming with the quad tank, looking to burn as much of that time as possible to make that draw even more likely, if not a win for themselves.
Rolling out on the 3-3, they got the Lucio and everything else they need in there in the mix. The Moira, of course, to keep those tanks all topped up in the front line. Question is, how long can they survive against Latex on that Orisa? At least here they've got an ability to rush onto the Orisa and shut him down pretty much straight out. But they're going to be looking towards that as their answer. If they cannot afford to do that, they'll be in trouble. Latex says, you know what? We're not even going to bother going for that opportunity. We're going to mix things up here. We have got 2 minutes to play with. We are in no rush.
Taking to the skies with Farah. Denny, of course, going to be there for the pocket. Kevster on the Tracer. The analyst desk is getting their wish. They get to see this madman pop off on the highly mobile Lena Oxton. As they jump up into the sky. Still going to be peppering down these barrage bullets, but the problem is Eagle Gaming, if they want to adapt, they don't have a choice. They have to stick with this composition. They cannot allow themselves to be sent back to the spawn room. No one has a clear advantage in this fight yet until Legday opens up with a kill onto Nico. No more protected barriers. Get amazed. Taking out Epps, so he has to have a little bit of a walk back from the spawn room. Denia going to bring him back into the fight. Here's the Coalescence, hoping to deal with damage and healing to the rest of the team as Kevster still dancing around. They've isolated who they think could be their first kill. Leaf's going to shut down Kevster, but Epps already got the kill onto Hip. Orgless and Hungry have already burned through about 1 minute of their time bank, and they've got a barrage on Casper. They might have to pop it early if they want to secure this, but they're taking out kills regardless. Latex answering with kills of his own onto get Super Fluke and get amazed. Then onto Leaf as well. I think Orgless and Hungry have got point A, and they're going to have ults to burn as they move into the second.
Eagle have got hold of the sound barrier if they want to roll that out and use it as their final defensive move almost on the second point. As you said, the best they can hope for now is a draw. Orgless and Hungry, though, they want to get that #1 on the board in the top left corner of your screens. They want to get this series back underway and get the reverse sweep in motion.
Here we go for them already. Kevster, forward position. Yet again, he wants to do exactly what he did last time and shut down a support on the back line. But I think Nico's onto him this time with the Roadhog in position. Latex isolated, pops the Primal Rage early. There's the disruption. Casper has the barrage to keep on going in this fight.
He's going to try and get a couple of chip shots down here as well. Casper completely uncontested as it stands. That's all they needed. The tank's doing the work.
Leodets, Latex getting the kills onto the supports. Self-destruct looking for an answer. Transcendence comes out from Orgless and Hungry. Like we said at the beginning, they only need 33%. So Eagle Gaming don't have a lot of time to play with, but they do have a spawn advantage to compensate for that. With Leaf going down, Sound Barrier coming out a little bit too late to save him, but it will reinforce the rest of his team. But they've still not got a kill to their name to balance this one back out.
So much of this relies on the D.Va and the Moira to be able to bring down Casper, but no one can do it. Huge shadow comes out though. Casper gets the clean up here. This could be the end of it, Tridd. Orgless might have the win.
Wrecking Ball comes in with the pile driver looking to buy more time. Just needs to stall, but he's so mobile and they cannot connect. Orgless and Hungry, they get their first map win of this series and it's not over yet.
They break the deadlock, and what a map that was as well. Nice and long, a great way to stage a comeback into it. Eagle just not quite able to get the complete on their attack, but Orgless, all they needed was a third. They managed to make it happen. So no draws coming in, but Orgless, bit of renewed confidence. And again, that halftime talk has got to have done wonders for this team. Now we've got to see him translate it once again into the fourth map. And like you said, that mental fortitude is being tested. 3 match points in a row.
It's tough to go against, but we're going to go into a quick break. And when we come back, we'll bring you that fourth map. And like we keep on saying, it could be the final one. Welcome back to Overwatch Contenders Europe, and Orgless and Hungary have started their comeback into this series. They have pushed it to a 4th map, and they only need 2 more to make a series and complete it and get themselves in that semi-final. However, Eagle Gaming, they're going to be a match point from here on out. They just need to win that 1 more map, and that map could be Rialto, Des.
Could be, will be. Most definitely.
Will be?
Will be.
That's confidence right there.
What do you mean? Rialto's the map.
Their final map that they need to win the series.
Oh, I see. Okay, fair enough. Well, Rialto is the map anyway. Doesn't matter which way you look at it.
Yep.
And let's not forget, this is an Eagle Gaming pick. They get the pick of this 4th map because they lost the last one. And you expect they would take a tank-based map. Why not? That's their style of play. So far, they've had to play to Orgless and Hungary's tune, except for on the first map. Now it's Orgless and Hungary's time to kind of show what they've been prepping as well, because we've said it about teams all season long. Rialto was the new map. There was a lot of strats still coming through that teams didn't expect or weren't aware of. Teams, to this day, are still learning how to play it, no doubt thanks to the addition of Wrecking Ball, the changes to Sombra, so on and so forth. So who knows? Maybe this Bastion is actually fully legit. I would not be surprised. It's Orgless and Hungary.
It's Orgless and Hungary, Des. I think they would end up running this one if they wanted to. There's nothing to stop them from doing so. I think they're going to go into a position early. They don't play so far forward initially. They buy some time and then they get set up afterwards. Don't want to show their hand too early because there are certain avenues from the spawn room you can see into the positions they like to set up.
Now, I'm not going to blame Get Amazed. I'm not going to blame Leaf.
Okay.
They've changed things around. Hardest is back in the roster. Get Amazed has been subbed out. They've won the first 2 rounds with a comp similar to this one, with a similar sort of setup. No reason why you wouldn't bring this guy back in. Again, he has been the shining light, in my eyes at least, for the team this season alongside Nico, Superpluke, Hip. These guys, they're all guys we spoke about in different weeks. It's very rare. Normally when we think of a team of all 6 members that we can speak about, Giganti's the name that springs to mind. We were doing it on the desk earlier on. Eagle are slowly starting to get to that point. They're going to roll out with the full dive minus the Tracer. Hardest going to be running out instead on that Reaper.
On the Reaper, so wanted to find a flank avenue for these teams, and they're keeping their eyes out. They know they've got a Genji sneak through their fortifications and coming up behind them, so you have to keep your eyes on the prize. And which prize do they want? It's a really difficult carnival game for them.
Well, they'll actually get behind them here as well. There they go, straight in. Reaper's not too far away either. If he gets in there, it takes 2 or 3 shots, and they're going to chew through this team. Leodez gets the solo, I should say. Leaf goes down as well for the double.
He's going to get in with the Holt and then follow up with the Gatling gun to take out Leaf, but Latex is going to do the work on Hardest. He's not going to be tank busted today. He's going to be busting Hardest on that Reaper.
It's King's Row first all over again is probably what Eagle Gaming are telling themselves right now. They're sticking to the same comp though. They know that what they've got can deal with this. They're just got to make it work out right. Kevstar on that Doomfist does give them some options, mind you, in the fact that if someone tries to get too close, well, you've got a fist to the face and a wall right behind you. That's going to be a lot of damage.
Or just a fist and take him in for a dunk in the water. But this time, Leaf's going to come in immediately with Hardest. They've got more going on this Bastion, but he's using the shield to protect himself, holds up the deflect, but he doesn't want any of it. Gets the D-Mech. Hardest will take out Casper instead. They missed their big gun, but it's going to be brought back. Kevstar takes out Leaf. Latex with the Flame Strike. Already, they're not going to be conceding any ground as they burnt through a minute and a half of the time bank already, Des.
Bit of a lapse in judgment there from Eagle, I think. They've realized that, yes, we've got the Bastion down. Oh, no, there is a Mercy as well. Mercy will get him back online unless you kill her as well, if not before. Problem is, it's so hard to focus on the Mercy while you've got a Bastion just spraying you down at point-blank range.
Also going to start to come online for Eagle Gaming. That could be the difference maker in breaking this defense. They're already going to use the tank force. Moves off to the side. Dragonblade's been used. He's firing rockets from above. Denny are taken out. Nico's going to find 2. It's both the tanks of Orgless and Hungary. And Casper's got nothing to do. Will take out Lilbo, but Hardest will deal with him himself. So they've broken the defense of Orgless and Hungary, but they've wasted half their time bank to just move the payload 1 inch.
Yeah, to get the full hold that lasts for 2 minutes. That's mighty impressive for Orgless and Hungary. As it looks like they're staying with the comp they had just a second ago, no real reason to change it off, and it feels that they're a very, very Orisa-friendly team. This time it's Leodez playing it, not Latex. Eagle Gaming rolling out with the triple tank now that they've dealt with that initial hold.
They've got time to get into a position to defend this, so they're going to be getting up onto that high ground. We see Young and Beautiful take this route usually, but they're moving a little bit further to where that choke point is. Look at Eagle Gaming though, they're coming up right behind them. They don't want to even contest the payload, they're taking the fight straight to them. Leaf takes out Latex, Hardest following up on the kill on the Casper, and Superpluke is letting his hammer fly against Orgless and Hungary, and they've completely shut down what defense they were planning. They're buying back lost time.
No more shenanigans, Eagle Gaming say, and that was one hell of a mowdown as well. I don't think Orgless and Hungary were aware they were following up there because they were all set and poised on the edge trying to spray down into the main square. When they're on the high ground with you, well, Bastion's not going to last very long.
Having to turn around, but Nico's going to find the double and the supercharger with the bomb. We see a lot of teams, especially Eagle Gaming, get stalled up at this choke point, but they've been learning a thing or two since they faced Giganti, and they're going to cap it with no stall here today. Time earned back, 3 minutes 20, moving on to the second phase of this point, and they're looking to burn even more of that time for Orgless and Hungry because they catch him on the spawn change.
And Orgless and Hungry going to change their comp up as well. It's probably about time. There's only so long you can make that Bastion Doomfist work for you. They're going to go across to the standard good old anti-tank comp that we see, which is the Farah and the Hanzo.
Beautiful shatter there to guarantee the self-destruct kills. Yeah, you didn't hit the Reinhardt, but he has to stay on the point, and if he flips around the shield to protect himself, well then, everyone behind him is going to die anyway to that self-destruct. Nice play there by Eagle Gaming.
Solid stuff. Now the question is, can they translate this on towards the end of the second point, or will they get stored up in here? Looks like another one's been eaten there. No, it wasn't. It came out of Eagle.
But they used the counter shatter to try and negate the flow, but Orgless and Hungry have come back into it. A kill onto Lilbo, a charge onto Super Pluke, and Kevstar on the Farah is now eyeing up Hip. One more rocket should do the trick, but Hip sidesteps it. Doesn't matter though, the rest of the team's already been sent back to the spawn room. 2 minutes 20 on the clock, and they're halfway through the second phase.
That's huge when Eagle can burn a Graviton Surge, such a crucial ultimate. And yes, Hardest manages to charge these incredibly quickly. But if you're burning these and getting no kills, that's a worrying sign. And hopefully just a one-off of these guys, because we've seen them execute some brilliant combos so far. If nothing else, go for the Giganti Bomb.
You can try and pull off the Giganti Bomb, but not many teams are successful in being consistent. But that direct rocket from Kevstar will take out Hips. They're one support down already, moving in much slower. They've breached that 2-minute mark again. They only get 1 minute 30 if they cap the next point. So starting to run on empty, Eagle Gaming, if they don't pick up the pace a little bit. Trying alternative routes, but they still don't have Hip with them. He does have the Transcendence for the movement speed and the protection if he wants to play catch-up in case of emergency.
And all the ults coming online for August. They've got both of those DPS ults online. They've got the Transcendence. Hits burnt his very early.
Yeah, he needs to get across the bridge. He knows there's a sitting duck if he stays on there, but he's going to regroup the rest of his team. He's been alive. Kevstar comes in with the barrage. Double kill. Lilbo gets the boop onto Latex to get the kill, and Kevstar goes back up into the sky. 2 kills over to Eagle Gaming, but 4 in favor of Orgless and Hungry. Just 2 supports running for their lives. Ept will go down, as will Kevstar to Hip. So the supports are going to stay alive. Orgless and Hungry still get control of the point.
Managing to make their way through, but actually there's a few members starting to come back here through on the spawn advantage almost. That's a really weird thing to say for Eagle Gaming as they push in, but they've got back control of the car here, and it's still pushing despite Orgless and Hungry being the ones who won the fight.
Dragon Strike available for Casper. They've got the Graviton Surge as well. They fire it out. They actually use the combination in sync. There's Transcendence or healing it from any source is trying to be used for Eagle Gaming. Orgless and Hungry going to cut through them nonetheless. 50 seconds remaining for the French roster.
Sound barrier is never going to save your whole team in that kind of situation unless the ult comes out late, and then maybe when the buffs come through for Lucio, you'll be celebrating. But as it stands, they haven't come through just yet. Not really going to work out in their favor. They've still got a couple of ultimates online to play with Eagle, but this is their final push, Tridd. Orgless and Hungry could be in a fantastic position to take this map against Orgless.
Graviton Surge used early. Leo Dead's being caught up as well as Latex. Self-destruct takes out Denius, and they're missing the Mercy. Self-destruct comes down, blocked out, only finds Hardest as they dance up into the sky. Casper being forced away by the pressure of Nico. Will get shut down. Eagle Gaming in position to move forward. Just need to clear out the stragglers. Now the Transcendence is over from Epps. They're going to swing through the hammer. Nico the one to get the kill onto Leo Dead as the payload moves towards the home stretch, Des.
Not the strongest Transcendence out of Epps there. It only had Leo Deads on the Zarya inside it as well to keep him alive. And sadly, Zarya can't do too much on her own against this kind of push. They do manage to get there in overtime, 1.5 minutes to try and complete Rialto. Orgless and Hungry, though, looking very, very solid on these defenses.
Not got any ultimates to their name, but that can change very quickly. You've got Kevstar about to rack one up for himself, and he gets the kill on Hardest. That's going to happen even faster. Barrage now available for Orgless and Hungry, and they need to wait for Leodids to catch up because Casper is also climbing towards that Dragon Strike.
Looking towards some combos potentially, and let's not forget the tragedy that befell Orgless and Hungry with Leoded's burning an early Graviton Surge meant Casper didn't have the Dragon Strike online. That cost them that map ultimately, or at least that final fight. Maybe here, if they try and sync things up a little bit more consistently, they might have more faith, but here comes the Graviton.
Nico with the eat the buffet barrage. All for that Diva as Hardest will then capitalize with the kills on the Casper and Kesper. And it's going to be Eagle Gaming pushing forward onto the final stretch of this map against Orgless and Hungry. And they're already eyeing up the spawn rooms to cut off the reinforcements.
Orgless conceding far more than they ever wanted to. Given the defense on the first point, given the defense on the second, forcing it into overtime, they may feel a little bit hard done by the fact that Eagle is now pushing in towards that final and third point. Combo still favors Orgless and Hungry. They can end this out here and now with only 15 seconds left on the clock.
Nico was able to eat a barrage. Can he eat the Graviton Surge? He fails through that. A lot of members being pulled in. The charge comes through. Self-destruct left out by Eagle Gaming to catch it all off, but it's going to be Orgless and Hungry getting the kills off the back of the ult combo. Shatter taking out Zarya. They just need to get the damage to finish him off, but Legday, he's popping off on the Zarya and he's getting those kills. Hip's going to go down to Casper. Orgless and Hungry, they've done it, and they're going to shut Eagle Gaming down just shy of completion.
Not a full complete by Eagle. That means that in this next push, this could be over. Either they fall short and Eagle walk away the winners, or Orgless and Hungry manage to top that and we go into the 5th and final decider map.
What happened on King's Road, Des? They stopped Eagle Gaming short, but they couldn't match the distance themselves. We've already had a bit of foreshadowing of what could happen in this map potentially, but it's Eagle Gaming's time to show Orgless and Hungry how to defend this map.
And it's their map they've picked as well. Let's not forget they lost the last. Rialto was their choice. A bit hard to say maybe here that it was not so much a biased choice. You'd say that generally when a map gets picked by a team, they'll be favored on it. Rialto has been the go-to map of choice for seemingly every single team this season. Everyone really likes the layout of it, the different strats that you can employ. Everyone, again, still kind of scrambling to find the best strategies on it. Eagle Gaming, just as a bit of a hypothesis, probably going to run a tank-based comp.
Where'd you get that one from, Des?
History, mate. The history books read an history of Eagle Gaming. You go to their Wikipedia page, there's one word in the history section: tanks.
Well, they're running out on quad tank already, and defensive teams typically don't try to bamboozle us that much, so I imagine they're going to stick with this one. And I also imagine Eagle Gaming is going to take the fight to Orgless and Hungry, not in the exact same way that they did to them on their offense, but I think they might play this one a little bit sneaky and maybe closer to the spawn room.
We have seen them go for some full holds where they push round to the left here over the bridge, and then as soon as the team pushes out, you just burst out behind them when they try and get set up. It was a great way to counter all in kind of Bastion setups in a way. For Orgless and Hungry, there's no Bastion, but they are going to run to what it seems to be the triple DPS setup.
You can see the silhouettes in the spawn room. Look how spread out Orgless and Hungry are. They're trying to get any ounce of information of where to set up from Eagle Gaming's coming. Obviously, spread yourself thin, multiple doors to look out of. It's a lot of information to take in, and Eagle Gaming aren't going to give them anything to work with.
Eagle should just go full alpha and be like, yeah, guys, here's what we're running. You worried?
Well, now they're going full alpha. They're letting them know exactly what's up. Already, Kevster switching over to the Farah. He's going to be up in the sky, and there's the Farah Mercy combination. And Nico's going to try and answer. Already doing a lot of damage to Denia, but not enough to get the kill. This stall might fall short for Eagle Gaming if they can't start to find kills. They're not letting anyone out the spawn room. Hardest going to take out Casper, but the respawn advantage is infinitely higher because they're playing in the spawn room of Orgless and Hungry.
But even this full hold, it's not a massive deal because you can still get back and defend the courtyard even if you all die here. They just want to run that clock down the same way that Orgless and Hungry did against them. They burnt 2 minutes though, but for Eagle Gaming, the Coalescence is already online. That's the combo they need to bring down the Farah. That's exactly what they're going to go for.
Going for it, barrage being fired from long distance. It's hard to get the damage for a kill, but it puts you stationary. Easy target to be picked off. Where is Orgless and Hungry? They've not come out of the spawn room at all. Eagle Gaming doing such a good job of keeping them at bay. They're just letting Kevster deal with all of it. Leaf's going to take out Epps. Where is Orgless and Hungry? Why are you leaving the Farah Mercy to do everything?
Nico is going 1 versus 2 against them, just trying to lessen the impact of those rockets and letting the supports do the healing up. Well, essentially that way, it's a 5 versus 4 in the spawn room with the rest of the remaining members of Eagle Gaming versus Orgless and Hungry.
They're wasps attacking a bee's nest, Debs. They're not letting them out, and they're trying to find the way in. They keep sending out the pheromones, the call for help, but everyone's locked in the spawn room. Graviton Surge might be air for them. They also pull out the Dragon Strike. Finally, they break the hold. They don't do it as quickly as Eagle Gaming did. They're going to be leaving themselves with 2 minutes 30 instead of the 2 minutes that Eagle Gaming had.
Still a good minute and a half hold, so at least it had the impact Eagle Gaming desired. And look at their ult charge here. Generally, when you play against Quad Tank, you're thinking, well, it's the other team that's going to get bucket loads of ult charge. The problem is, they had to expend those ultimates to be able to break the full hold. Eagle Gaming should be able to hold at least here in the courtyard. And last time round, Eagle would not stop, when it came to the courtyard phase.
Because of the position Orgless and Hungry wanted to take, it was easy for them to pick him off, but they're going straight in for a fight. Shatter, blocked out by Super Blue. He's going to throw one of his own, but he misses everyone. Transcendence keeping the party alive as Kevster's in the air with the barrage. Hip, however, will find Casper, shuts down Nico by firing the barrage and turning early enough to not get the AoE damage. Legday will be the one to finish off the grounded Diva as Kevs is still in the sky, and I don't think Eagle Gaming have a correct answer for this one, because these are running riot over Eagle Gaming as they cannot get a foothold on this point. Goes for the boot, will not get the kill, but everyone else is just going to allow this payload to move forward. 1 minute 30 on the clock, and they're inches away from that first checkpoint.
Lilbo going to step back and boost his team back in here to go for a contest on the point once again. A minute 20 left, but Kevster is having so much free reign. This is the inflexibility.
Oh, he's finding hip. No one's contesting him. He gets the concussive blast. Nico shuts him down with the self-destruct. The Graviton Surge is there to pull him in, as well as the Dragon Strike and the charge. Orgless and Hungry have wiped Eagle Gaming away from this point. They'll get that first checkpoint, 3 minutes 30 to play with.
This is where our criticisms of Eagle always kind of come to light, is saying, yes, they are a very tank-heavy team, and yes, they've added dive to that to the list of compositions they're happy to run. Biggest problem again, they have not got a Widowmaker player they're confident enough to field in a situation like this. Kevster is literally raining hell all over you, and your response is to send your Diva at them and say, well, let's hope it works. If nothing else, you lessen the damage. Problem is, this isn't just any Pharah. This is Kevster. He is literally destroying them, and they need to find a response.
Shatter, nice pivot for Eagle Gaming to block out much of that, but the kills are still going in favor of Orgless and Hungry. 3-for-1 trade. I wouldn't take that any day of the week, as Nico gets demeched, and they're going to make it even more. It's a special going on at the supermarket for Orgless and Hungry. Their hunger will be satisfied.
Very much so satisfied at the minute. Eagle still got a couple of ultimates to play with, but so do Orgless, and it's looking very shaky. Eagle just... The fights are very scrappy. Yes, they're getting a couple of opening kills, but Orgless are kind of peeling back, waiting for a couple of seconds, and then pushing back in as a unit. And believe it or not, they're playing not full tanks, but they are definitely playing those main tanks on the ground, and they are winning these duels against a quad tank composition, thanks to the constant damage and harassment coming out of both the Pharah and the Hanzo.
There's a reason why the military-industrial complex evolved to use aircraft. It clearly is helping out in the ground war. Graviton Surge, pulling them together. They're going to focus the coalescence through that to keep them alive. Latex hits multiple men with the shadow on the back line, and they're still going to roll through all Eagle Gaming. Hips goes low. Nico is going to be falling down shortly afterwards, as Leaf is the only man left alive in the area, but Latex changes that quickly. 1 minute 50 on the clock for Orgless and Hungry, and they are burning through Rialto.
They absolutely are. The biggest question mark for me comes into this one. When they get inside that third point, when Pharah isn't as effective, what do Orgless and Hungry do? Do they stick on the Pharah and play from outside, or do they go for the risk and play indoors?
Superfluke just throwing another Earth Shatter into the shield of Latex, and they're not able to get anything done. Leodeds will get a kill. Leodeds will go down and get resurrected immediately. Self-destruct over the top finds Denia, shutting down the Mercy. Could be big for Eagle Gaming. They just need to find more kills. Graviton Surge pulls a lot of Eagle Gaming together, and the Graviton combo gets eaten up by Nico. Can they do it without that impact ultimate? They're starting to falter. Eagle Gaming have turned it around. The double kill barrage before Leaf can shut him down, but they have control of that point. 1 minute 10 to go for Orgless and Hungry.
Eagle fractured and broken half of what they once were, but still managed to win the fight. This is playing out almost exactly how the last round did, with a minute left on the clock. Let's not forget, Eagle Gaming were just going into overtime as they captured that second point. Now we're at that 60-second remaining mark. Everything should come down to that third and final push, but Orgless and Hungry, it's a long spawn walk. If they don't win this fight here and it gets drawn out like the last few have, well, it could all be over here, and Eagle could be going to the semi-finals against Giganti.
Like the ultimates come up in this fight, Transcendence and Earth Shatter. That's what Latex and Eps have got to work with here against the whole hog of Leaf. And already people going low. Nico's isolated. Earth Shatter from Latex. It lands this time, and Superfluke's got no answer. Kevster raining down damage from above, and they're cowering behind the payload. But 3 kills might be enough for Orgless and Hungry if they can clear out the slippery members. Eps with a double kill onto Nico and Leaf, and Kevster will seal the deal as they push on and gain themselves another 1 minute and 30.
It's going to be the curse again, Tridd. Casper's got that ultimate online. Leoded's 25% away. Do Orgless and Hungry have the patience to wait and use that to end it here? There is no Transcendence on the other side. That can literally be the combo that keeps them in this series, or if they use it too early, it could be the one that sends them home.
A lot of ultimates going to be coming on the board. Graviton Surge for Eagle Gaming, as well as the Earth Shatter for Superfluke. Both defensive ultimates unactivable now because Orgless and Hungry are going to have to fight against them. It could be quite difficult. Graviton Surge pulls them together. They're already committing with it. Superfluke with the double charge kill. The tanks are doing work for Eagle Gaming as they clear out Orgless and Hungry. 1 minute on the clock to make it happen.
And they do all of that with one ultimate. They've got almost 4 online to play with now, and on the other side, the story isn't too dissimilar. Again, I'm still looking towards that combo. We saw in the last time they tried to rock it out that Casper's ultimate got eaten by Nico. It's so fine. It's so fine, the difference between these two teams and what their win conditions are. Orgless and Hungry are about to get theirs online. Let's see how they use it.
They're being patient. They're holding on to the Dragon Strike. They are waiting for Leodeds to get the Graviton Surge. Kevster can go for the overkill composition with the barrage if they want the clean wipe. The longer they wait, the more ultimates Eagle Gaming are getting.
They're going to have to fight again, though. Even if they win this first fight, they go for the Shadow. It doesn't quite hit.
No,
he
the
gets knocked
cancel!
out by Lee!
No ultimate for you today! Kevster moves in with the barrage, regardless of that fact. Legday used the Graviton Surge as well. They committed everything to this fight, and they're not winning it in a much dominant fashion. They're struggling. Leaf has to break through this shield, but he's going down low. Demi's going to bring Kevster back. They have an advantage, but not enough to win this one just yet.
Moira wasn't behind the tanks there, so they can force the front line of Eagle Gaming back. If they keep this push going, the members can rejoin them in time. They could win right now. They missed the grab, though. Casper, he is their target. If they can melt him out or even go for the Mercy would be a much better idea, Tridd.
They're going to have to do it in overtime. Dez, they're charging him into the corner, but 2 kills already in favor of Eagle Gaming. Hardest comes out with the McCree. It's just Leo Dead's on the point. They're going to pull him together with Graviton Surge, but the shields are there to protect them all. Overtime ticking down. Kevster goes in. He goes out. He's unable to contest, but Epps is coming back in. Will get taken out. Allez le bleu. We are going to be seeing Eagle Gaming face off against Giganti tomorrow in our semi-final.
What heartbreak for Orgless and Hungary as well. Fair play to the guys for a fantastic series and well played. Taking that map, it looked like it could have gone to go on to be the reverse sweep, if not the 5th map decider. But Eagle standing just a bit too firm there on that 3rd and final point. Still worried again they didn't find an answer to things like the Farah, but it still managed to stay true for them. Maybe something to look at ahead of the games tomorrow.
A lot to look at. A lot of time to build up until Season 3. Orgless and Hungary, their season ends now, but they're going to be coming back to us for Season 3. Guaranteed position. Eagle Gaming, the revenge story, Des, it writes itself. They're ready to take out Team Giganti, but they've got to do it tomorrow. And they've got to wait a little bit longer to get themselves to that grand final stage in Paris at the World Cup stage in front of a home
Good
team.
Lord. Could you
Everything
imagine?
is lining up for Eagle Gaming, but we're going to take it over to our analyst desk, then they're going to break this down a little bit further.